deal with some content that I wanted to share with you all today. This is basically looking at tips and guidelines actually that can be used in order to make a success out of this module. So now I am Mr. Lottering, your teaching assistant for this semester, and this is my first interaction with that I planned actually with everybody, so that we can at least actually understand what it is actually. Now I'm using the work actually of Dr. Charity in the screen attached as I shown, and she is also one of the teaching assistants actually for some other groups. So what we do is, as teaching assistants, we try and not reinvent the wheel, but rather use what we have and share it with students, so that we make sure that students are all getting the same message. Um, let's do this. I'm just pulling up my stuff. So what we have here, as I say, it is tips and guidelines that that you need to maybe look at in order to make a success out of this module. The first one, why is it not responding? Basically, what this module covers, actually, it covers actually ICT for development, ethical issues, copyrights, intellectual property, rights, privacy, conduct, and expectations. So this is an online module. In other words, what we're meaning with an online module, we don't attend classes. There's no lecturer standing in front of you. You don't have the burden of going to different campuses and things like to make sure that you attend classically and sign registers and things like. This is an online module, and what we mean with the online module, all the material is shared online, and all the contact with your teaching assistants as well as the lecturers, primary lecturers actually in this module, is all online. And what we're basically saying, we say that actually what you need as a student, actually, you need a computer, and you need internet actually at all times, because it is a online module. It can therefore actually not be offered any other way. I know that sometimes we say cell phones actually give us access to the internet, but sometimes actually smartphones actually has a bit of a limitation in them as well, and that's why we're saying, okay, we need to have a computer, a laptop, or a desktop actually will be preferable actually. Sometimes, yes, we know there's tablets and things also, but those gives quite a bit of limitations that we have actually. So there's going to be some reading and studying all the material that is needed on the portal that we have for you. There is a lot of material actually, and this is basically divided into a number of lessons, and these lessons are then put on place actually. And so you as a student need to pay attention when we have assessments. There is specific guidelines that comes with that, and obviously we will have a rubric. Now, a rubric basically gives you an idea of how you get marks for the various things that you do. So obviously, a rubric will also guide you in terms of what is expected from you as a student. So therefore, then you need to read and study all the material that is available on the portal for you. Please note that plagiarism is not allowed. Now, what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is basically when you claim to have work done, but it's actually somebody else's work that was done, and you just copy and paste and post that as yours. Now, last semester, we had assessment number 5, and we have some tools that detects plagiarism. So what we do with this, basically, we put, as you upload your assignment, this tool called Turnitin will basically go and check your work, all the text in your work. It's go and check it against various other material that is available, and it will give you a score, a plagiarism or a similarity score. If you have 100% similarity score, it means all the work is somebody else's. And therefore, there's going to be some various numbers and things that will be given to you in terms of your plagiarism score. At Unisa, we looking at a plagiarism score of about 25 and less. More than 25, you will start getting penalized. Normally, what happens also if you have above 90%, 90%, yeah, plagiarism, there will be a disciplinary action against you because the university is quite strict when it comes to plagiarism. It's not allowed, and there is also some um, what we call policies and things that advocate this. So please read whenever you are reading material and things, you need to reference it. And I will have another session with you in terms of how we reference various materials and things that we have. I think right now in this semester assessment number 3, we will check for plagiarism there as well. So be warned that plagiarism is not allowed in the organization. So some of the students and things, we sometimes uh, getting ourselves in a bit of trouble. We sometimes don't know how to use or how to respond to things, and we use things like ChatGTP. There's another one, DeepSeek, and all of these things. What we're saying with these things is yes, sometimes it is there a question? Hello? Can I please ask that we switch off our mics and things because it causes a bit of a disturbance um, in the lesson. So you can switch your mic on when you have a question that you want to ask, but apart from that, may I please ask that you switch your mics off. So back to ChatGTP. ChatGTP and DeepSeek, these are all AI tools and things that are available for us to use. Now, these are just tools. So what we need to do, we cannot just verbatimly copy things from ChatGTP or DeepSeek and portray that as our own work. No, you'll get into trouble for that as well. And it will compromise you because at the end of the day, you are going to be the person that thinks that is going to have the consequences of this. So yes, I as an individual encourage students normally to use this as a tool, but please don't misuse it. So in other words, ChatGTP and DeepSeek, all these, we call it large language models. These models are there to explain things to you. So, for example, in the programming world, if you're sitting with a difficult problem that you need to fix, that you need to solve, maybe you need to look for example, at writing a program or some sort of thing. Actually, you then can use these tools and things to help you explain things. But in terms of just copying it, no, it's a big no-no. So what we're saying also, do your own assessments, basically. Please do not use somebody else's work. Sometimes we get previous years, previous students and things that has done this course and has done well in this course and things, and we just want to use their material and things because with UNISA, for example, we know clearly that we only get attention or we get marks and things for all our assignments and things. And yes, me as your lecturer or your teaching assistant might not be aware of somebody else that has done the same thing maybe a few semesters ago. Be very careful also. Some people sell their assignments to you also. It's up for or sometimes you can get yourself in a real fix and ask somebody else to do your assignment on your behalf. These students are not very well good practices and things and surely you don't want to be unskilled and an unknowledgeable graduate. What we're basically doing when we teach you these type of things is for you to get skills as a graduate so that when you go into a work assignment one day that you know they are confident to be able to do whatever is asked from you, and you've got the necessary competence for that as well. Please also note actually that when in this module you need to have a computer. So therefore, then actually we sometimes find actually that students actually are having things handwritten out and they take photos of this and scan them in actually. And sometimes this actually can help them in terms actually of not getting can't then the system can't pick up actually whether it's your work or somebody else's work. Please note handwritten assignments, assessments, and scanned assessments will not be assessed at all because it is important that the organization implement actually their plagiarism policies and things actually. And scanned images of assessments and handwritten ones actually cannot be is not acceptable at all then. Right. So what we're saying also in terms of the structure of this module, it will consist out of 4 assessments. First assessment, which is due today, it's just quizzes. Then you have actually 3 more assessments also. These are basically what we call formative assessments actually. And then you have a summative assessment, a summary at the end of the semester things, assessment number 5 actually. So what we say, you need to have actually a pass rate of 50% overall. How we do that actually is we say your first 4 assessments actually basically form actually your almost like a predicate. And the fifth one actually was then actually going to be weighted very much, almost similar like an exam. So what we say then actually is actually that the assessment weights is basically 80% for the semester mark come out of these assessments and 20% out of a portfolio. And you need to have a 40% minimum mark actually for the portfolio itself. So, however, in order to pass the module, you must have a 50% overall. Uh, so there basically also what we're saying is that you've got one shot at this. There is no supplementary exams in this thing because it is continuous evaluation that we have actually, and basically your mark is made up out of all these 5 assessments. So therefore, then since we don't have an exam, there cannot be a supplementary exam as well. So the weight of the various assessments, assessment 1 is based on lesson 1. That actually counts about, it's out of 30. Your assessment 2 is basically where you have to create Word documents. In other words, you're going to focus a lot on Word. That counts out of 25. Assessment 3 is going to be based on PowerPoint. There it's going to be PowerPoint and other texts that we're going to be assessed on, and that counts out of 25. The fourth one is going to be Excel based, and here we see that a specific assessments count of 20, and the portfolio, which is the fifth one, and the year, for example, is basically independent research that need to be done, that count out of 20. So this basically makes up your assessment actually for the whole semester. Right. So what we say, what are we covering in this actually? It's an online module. So what did I do? No. So basically, let's zoom in on the portfolio or the last assessment. Ladies and gentlemen, you can ask me anytime if there is any questions and things that you have, because I am focusing on the material in front of me, and therefore I will not necessarily look at what's happening in Teams. If there's maybe in the chat where somebody have a question or raise their hand, please barge in and do this. So now portfolio. So this is basically saying we indicated that a student needs 40% in the portfolio itself to pass. And the app that we're using is basically Turn It In. It's an app and things that checks for plagiarism. So what we're saying is if your Turn It In mark is more than 50%, it means the degree of plagiarism is extremely high. So in other words, it means that 50% of the work in your portfolio is not your own. Then you have to go and resubmit your work. You have to go and rephrase some of your your work and things as well to get that down to less than 50. So what I'm going to do later in the semester and things, we're going to work specifically on this and show you how you do this and how to get actually a plagiarism figure of less than the required 50% actually. So we say that if your Turnitin is between 35 and 50%, it means that the degree of plagiarism is moderate, but it will still compromise you at the end because there is still a penalty that we have. And the reason why I'm saying that is we deduct 20 marks from your final mark actually for a plagiarism from we sometimes call it a similarity score of being between 35 and 50%. If it is less than 35%, then it is acceptable and you shouldn't really worry about it. So your Turnitin uh, indicates basically your Turnitin will also indicate two other things. It can either be the similarity score that it gives, or it can give actually what we call a EUCA. It's basically a agreement that you have to sign, and you need to indicate that actually when you upload your assessment, your portfolio, or it might mean actually the report is not available. When the report is not available when you've submitted it, it basically means one of two things. It can either be it is a handwritten or a handwritten document that was taken a photo of, or it is a scanned document that was taken a photo of and uploaded. Now, please, whenever you have actually a report is not available, actually status on your assessment and things, it basically means you have to redo it to avoid being penalized actually with this. So I am here basically your teaching assistant, and I'm here to support you. Basically, what I'm saying is that if there is anything that is you are unsure of, you can basically either in the chat. Let me just show you where it is. I'm just gonna log into the portal, my Unisa portal. Right. So whenever you want to send me a note, it is in here, and I will get it as a private message here. And basically, what happens, and I will respond to you within a day, 24 hours. The latest within 24 hours. And I will basically then actually send you actually a response actually on this. What normally happens also, you can sometimes actually send an email to the EUP1501 support, and they will send your request over to me as well, where I will respond to you as well. So while we are at this, let's quickly just navigate through um, what we have here. You will see that you will have your group number. It is important for me to have this group number of you whenever you communicate with me, because I've got about 400 students that I'm looking after, and each group has about 80 students. So therefore, I've got 5 groups and things. It is sometimes quite a challenge to go and look at your specific thing. So here, for example, we have our assessments. I will have announcements, and the announcements of today's online session was here. I had also an introductive video about myself, a personal message to you. There is some material things that we will have sometimes under the general discussions. And here, for example, I had actually your summary for chapter 8. So it is important that you constantly refer back to this your portal. There is, for example, things on assessment, I think chapter 8, summary of that. Let's look, for example, at the assessment. There are the 5 assessments that you have. There are also lessons. there's about 4 lessons, and each one of these lessons have the material. They will have an overview of this, telling you what this is about, what are the key concepts. They will also show you, I'm not sure why this thing is not coming up here, but it shows you a document, for example, on terms of how to creating documents in Word. And there is also these various things that we talk about here: understanding your environmentally. There is basically understanding your developmentally. Copyrights and things, we have one thing dedicated towards copyright. Um, we have something dedicated in terms of creating documents in Word. Here it is. And then in summary, we also have a conclusion of the lesson, and then discussions about the specific lesson. So now, obviously, there is nothing here, but you as students are welcome to put in discussion forums here, discussion topics and things with regards to this lesson and things that you are taking. So each and every one of these lessons is broken down into an introduction, giving a something for your development, something in terms of, for example, see in lesson 2, the social media, getting an understanding is getting started with Microsoft Edge, and then in summary. So this is basically the format of each and every one of these lessons. And obviously this is based on material and things, resources that are also posted here. Let's just see, what are the resources? Here is a prescribed material that we have. So obviously there's nothing now, but if I get material things that I think that you can use, I will post it here as well. Now back to the assessments. We see here that, like I said, it is a course that we have out of 30 marks and things like that. And what this thing does, it gives you will have 3 attempts for this. And it will take the highest of the 3 attempts that you will have to assign that as a mark to you. So obviously things, what we say also there, 50% of this, which is 15, is the grade to pass this module. Now let's just quickly look into this. What is this about? So it's questions and things that you will have that you have to answer. So obviously this is now based on what we have. So let's, for example, look at the first one. Ethics and law is violated when one word and another word occurs. Please choose the correct one. So maybe I should help you with this one. I would say is when plagiarism and intellectual property occurs. So let me give you this, just that one quickly. But obviously you can go back. There's about 30 questions here, and each one gives a mark. You will see, for example, there's about 3 questions per page. So there's going to be around 10 pages that you will have for this. Let's go back out of this. So each and every one of these assessments will also indicate to you when is the closing date. And normally in things, we will not necessarily give additional, we will not be merciful to you. In other words, give you extensions in terms of when an assignment actually need to be closed. This is set up already in the beginning of the semester. You have access to all of this already, so you should know by when actually should things be done. The second assessment actually 5 of September. And here, this one is basically going to be a Word document of things that you need to create. So in 14 days time, there is going to be something. So we can see already there is one person that submitted this. Assessment 3 is going to be on the 19th of September. That is going to be due. There's about 28 days for that one. Assessment number 4, it's on the 6th of October. So this thing basically tells you when the assessment will be open and when it will close, when it is due. And normally it takes actually a lot of um, circumstances, extraordinary circumstances and things for you to get extensions from this. Assessment number 5 is also a very important one. Here, this one counts out of 70. So around about the 24th of October, that one actually is then available. So in this one, please make sure that it can only be a PDF document that need to be submitted. And we also look at the file name that you have actually. So your file name will be basically your student number underscore surname underscore assessment 5 dot PDF. So there is also a declaration form that we talk about that you need to basically sign. And also when you submit your assessment and things, there is also a tick box that you have that you need to do. And then the summative assessment. So now this one actually is quite an important assessment as well. So you see, for example, here they talk about actually specifics on this in terms of the font size, for example. It must be Arial 0.12. The line setting is 1.5. And I'm sure when you have actually assessment, I think it's assessment 3, where you do deal with a word. Let's see, assessment 2. When you deal with a Word document, yes. There we will go into the various intricacies actually of font size, line spacing, and all of that. But as I think in the next week or two, we'll walk through that actually in terms of how do you do this line spacing and things actually. Then we talk about the referencing style. So referencing style is basically where you need to acknowledge the work of other people. And this is typically what we do in academic writing. We go for Harvard or APA reference style. And I will guide you in terms of that. I will have a later session later in the semester and things like specifically in terms of when we do um, some writing. First of all, what material is appropriate and how do you reference it? That's basically what we show. So, and this, ladies and gentlemen, actually, getting you afraid with your referencing style and things is basically to start preparing you for your later qualifications. If you want to do a postgrad, for example, on a master's level, for example, or on an advanced diploma level, there is actually some research and things, some research reports that you need to prepare, and there you will need to have actually a reference academic writing and things. So I will guide you in terms of that, how to do that, so that we lay the foundations actually for you in terms of that. Okay, so that is the portal. So I'm here basically to assist you. So ladies and gentlemen, this is an easy module. If you attend the lessons and you participate in discussion forums and you ask questions for clarification, you are bound to do well. So basically, you must be here. You must be eager to learn. Yeah? And you must be engaged. And please engage me. Don't feel that, this is a very, very busy man, this teaching assistant of yours, so I can't bother him. No, 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 no. I'm here to support you. And please avoid late submissions. Last minute things actually sometimes don't work. And the reason why we say sometimes actually creates actually a problem for you is actually that the system gets jammed. There can be something going wrong with the system on that last day and things, and you are then compromised actually. So ladies and gentlemen, this is basically what I wanted to share with you today in terms actually of what this module entails, who I am, and I am also here to assist you where I can as much as possible. So, any questions from you? Thank you for that. Any questions from you? Right. If there's no questions, I think I'm going to release you then, and make sure that, and please make sure that you have your first um, assessment done before 6 o'clock tonight. You've got 3 attempts for this. And remember, you've got 3 attempts. Please make use of them. We will take the highest score out of the 3 to give you a mark. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the assessment and things that is there. And on a weekly basis, I will check in with you also in terms of making sure that we are all on the right path. Okay. We can then adjourn. Bye.
I say,
Yes, ma'am.
I was saying bye.
Bye. Okay, I've recorded this thing as well. So for those who might not have been able to make it, I will post the recording also on the portal for you. Okay. Hey, and may the Springboks win tomorrow for those of you guys who follows rugby.